On Primal Particles FX by Jonathan Cohen. First off, we go to File, New Emitter, and this brings down a panel that places your emitter in there. Next, let's view our, see, this is the emitter settings, and let's go to the system setting for the particles. And I want to get a different image. I'll go with one I've previously made, and I'll set my alpha master to around 100. And then let's add another image. I'll get a little bit different one and set my alpha master to around 100 again. Now let's go to the particle color. We'll make it orange. This particle system is for the flame part. The next one will be for the smoke. And I'm going to go down here to illuminate method because fire is self-illuminating. And next we go to, we'll scoot this over here out of the way a little bit and press play. And notice this doesn't look at all like we need it to look. Okay, now we can leave the preview running, and let's go to focus and up the focus to pretty close to 1, and flow, we'll leave that right at around 5. Lifespan, let's leave this around, let's go down to 50. This is how tall and how long the particles last. Base size, we'll leave that with 1. This is the overall size. Base speed, let's go down to 0.2 rather. And this is the base speed. Base orientation is a little different. Let's go to base gravity. We don't want no gravity, so we'll set it to 0. And I notice that our base speed, well, let's wait and watch the preview a tad. Okay, there, that's okay. Base alpha, we'll leave that alone. Intensity, we'll leave alone there too. Rotation, we need our particles to rotate in every direction, so I'm just gonna go way up here. I want to give them kind of a randomness there. Okay, and let's go to particle size. Now we want our particles to be big when they start out, and then we want them to flow smaller. So I'm going to put a keyframe in here and drop it way down about frame 70. And I noticed that for what I'm doing, you won't be able to see the whole system. So let me go to lifespan and lower this down here. And now I'm going to watch the preview a little bit and watch how tall the lifespan, how tall the flames get. Okay, that'll be just about right for what I need to do. Next, we go to size. We already did that. Speed, we'll leave that one alone. No gravity. And watch what we'll leave. These frames down here, the ones on the bottom system section that says for particles. This one is like it's percentage over the frames, and the other one is by frame. Now we leave gravity alone, alpha alone. Well, let's make ours a little kind of disappear as they come out. I added another keyframe in, and let me move it down just a tad. Intensity. Now watch what happens when I adjust intensity. I'll add a little bit of intensity right here, and watching the particles as they get more intensified. And I'll add another one to kind of stretch this one way out here, and that'll make our embers get darker as they go. And visibility is you either have it on or off. So ours is on. So we go now, let's go add this smoke system. Duplicate the first particle system, because we can use quite a few of the settings, which is nice. And go to render, and we don't want alpha mode, illuminate mode for this one. We want pure alpha. And we're going to up the alpha master to 255 all the way up, and we will up this the same for both colors. We will up them all the way. And the particle color, we want it to be gray, but we want it to have a percentage over time. So we add another color in, and we want it to go from gray to black. Next, we pretty much leave all the settings the same. We go to size though, and we don't want our size to get from bigger to smaller, we want ours to get from smaller to bigger. And notice back there as I adjust here, I'm adjusting my particles, and I want it to have less at the initial get-go, and there. And I can kind of watch as I go. Next, I want to add in an effector, so I add in a new fan and go to Tools section. I want the power of this fan to be around 20. And notice that we have a fan-like shape down here at the bottom. How it's affecting our emitter already. Let me scale it up. And let me rotate it that way, and then rotate it this way. And bring it up here. Now watch what happens to it. Notice how it blows into the particle system. Okay, now let's press stop and minimize this panel. This is kind of nifty. You can get a nice small panel, but you can still view important information here. And I'm going to jump to frame 40, press enter, and now I'm going to render. And it first does the regular render because this is Primal Particle FX is a post-process plugin. And you notice down there at the bottom I have like a little red light. This is trying to simulate the fire where the base of the fire is. It takes a little while to render the overall scene. That's because I don't have, it's not a real complicated scene, but it's partially complicated due to the texturing on the bottom. Now watch right here. Notice it says 5%, 10%, 15, 20, and the fewer particles you have, the faster it renders. And notice though how, for the effect that we make real quick, how fast this is. Okay, now you notice though the smoke is a little bit too dense. Let me fix that real quick. Jump back to emitters, particles, and we need to make our size smaller for the initial outgo. And the render, the image map render, we need to adjust this down to around 150. And we'll do this for both images. Then I'll do another render, and this should be the last render for this tutorial. Not only can you make fire and smoke, you can make things like sparkles or water fountains, or you can kind of do unlimitedness. I've created bees flying before. You can create tornadoes. See, the last one, it generated 250 particles in 40 seconds. Okay, there we go. And I'd suggest playing with this and seeing what you can come up with. This is an excellent plugin. Thanks for your time. This has been a tutorial by Jonathan Cohen.